I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself as well. For those that know you and for those who may be watching this interview to get to know you. I'm here with Riia. How you doing, Riia?
Good. How are you? It's finally good. I mean, been with Jimmy on the phone a couple of times, but this is my first time seeing his face. So,
Absolutely.
hello.
Hey, how you
My
doing?
name is Ria. I am an American Colombian artist, based in Los Angeles. I've moved around a little bit. I grew up in Colombia. I grew up in Medellin. And then from like I would say maybe 5 to 21. I went to school and lived in New Jersey, and I would spend my summers in Colombia with my grandpa.
Hmm.
So I always felt kind of out of place. Like I always, like I would go home to Jersey and miss Colombia, and then I would go to Colombia and miss Jersey. So it was always like I always felt like I lived kind of like a split life between
Hmm.
both worlds. And like I wish I could have like pushed them together closer on the globe just to feel, I don't know, like no nostalgia. Like I wasn't missing out on anything in both places. After college, I moved out to LA and started doing fashion. And then I made a bunch of friends that made a lot of really cool music. And a few became very successful at it, and a lot of them would just talk to me and be like, "You really don't want to record, yo? Like, you're not even curious? Like, you hear all the time, you watch us make 10,000 hours of music, and you just quiet." And I just felt like I was very shy. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
it took me a long time to get out of my shell. And then eventually, COVID kind of took all my normal creative tools away from me, and I had no other outlets than my friends that were still locked in their recording studios. They were like, "Hey, there's no one here. It's COVID. I'm not seeing anybody. You could come here, record 10 hours, have your little outlet." So I would get in my Uber with like my face mask and my gloves, my hoodie, and and we just
Hmm.
started making music. And at first, I feel like it wasn't that great. The first time you do anything, isn't exactly what it is. But now
Right.
we've been working on it for a few years, and I've made like 200 songs. And out of the 200 songs I've made, I was like, I play them all the time for my friends. Like we'll be at social gatherings and they'll be like, "Oh my God, play that one song, like play that,"
Yeah.
And then I'll have people text me and they'll be like, "Hey, so where can I find that song you played?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's not out yet." And they're always like, "Girl," like I'm trying to listen to it.
Right.
So
Um,
this is me just kind of getting my toes wet. When you like go to the pool and it's like super cold, like the water's just super cold. Like I'm not
mhm.
really like a jump in kind of person. I'm very much like I'm just getting my feet wet and catching the vibes and getting comfortable. And then like as we grow, we'll like go swimming. You know what I mean? So this EP is very much me like on the first step of entering that pool of like just expressing myself and
Mhm.
being more open.
So over time, that's what comes with starting. You know what I'm saying? I know you said when you started, it wasn't that great, but you did the biggest step, which is just getting out there, and for a lot of people, you don't know, even just like how you had friends who you said already put in their 10,000 hours. For a lot of people, you'll probably be the next friend or next person somebody look up to that's like afraid to start or thinking about the what ifs, but all you really have to do is start. And now you at this point. So first I want to say congratulations for even getting to this point because you will be surprised on how many people just don't reach that point of starting. Always had a dream
Yeah.
of doing something, but just don't start. And that's for me personally. It don't matter what you do as long as you give it a try. And you tried it and you like it.
Yeah.
So you will be an inspiration for many just from that step of starting. You know what I'm saying? As long as you keep going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you said it's kind of like you lived a split life. Were you pulling any like cultural influences from traveling back and forth between Colombia and Jersey when you were young?
Yeah, I mean, well, when I first got here, I didn't speak any English.
Hmm.
So kindergarten to like third grade, I was still learning English. So it was really hard to make friends, and it was really hard to just even like watch cartoons at home because I literally couldn't understand them. You know, every cartoon that they play in Colombia is in Spanish. Even if it's the same cartoon, it's like the voiceovers are done in Spanish. So it just took me you know, years to really learn and really like become part of my environment. So at first I feel like I was just like very depressed. Like I remember being, you know, anywhere between like 5 to 8 years old, just listening to Spanish music, like just Spanish music, just the Spanish music my parents were listening to. That's when I first started getting exposed to like reggaeton. That's when like Daddy Yankee was really doing it, when Ivy Queen was really doing it,
Yeah.
you know, Tego Calderon, like just a bunch of people from Puerto Rico really that were really starting to go global and starting to tour in like New Jersey, New York area, stuff like that. And then of course, you know, like in like music that they only make in Colombia, like there's this big genre of romantic music called vallenatos, which is like a bunch of stuff. And then like bachata was super big because, you know, Aventura and Romeo Santos were Dominicans that were living in New York. So
Right.
they were spreading Dominican music in New York, and we were like 10 miles outside of Manhattan in Jersey, and I had cousins in Harlem and like all that influence. So I would see all these Latinos being able to connect with other Latinos that felt that like emptiness, you know, that gap, that just like, damn, like I wish I was home, but at the same time, I'm not the person that used to live in that country anymore. I am very much Americanized now. But like at the same time, like Americans don't do all the Latino stuff.
Right.
So you're stuck between like, damn, like maybe America is where I'm at now, but like I'm nostalgic about where I came from. But when I go back to where I came from, I don't live on that block anymore. So it's just like it, you know, it was very interesting.
Gotcha. And it seems like from what you said, you kind of like through the steps though of like filling out a place, you kind of took what you needed and you still applied it in a sense. Like it's good. And when you split, when you split time between like in places where it's such a regional difference, you got those moments to overcome it and just really take what you need from the situation. You know what I'm saying? And when you said what was the romantic genre you said again?
Vallenatos.
Okay, could you see yourself like doing that type of music in a sense?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I've never really like sang or been creative around my family. My family is very much not creative. My grandpa grew up owning trucks, and he used to just bring merchandise from the city into different towns outside of the city in Colombia, and that's what he did for 80 years. And he just sold like car parts, and then my parents just like, you know, work jobs. So it's like I feel like no one in my family ever got the space to even like be like, what do I want to do, you know? So I mean, I don't know. I would love to team up with someone in the vallenato genre and make something, but I would just feel so shy about it because I feel like that's so close to home. It's like, you know, it's like when you're younger and you can like you curse in front of your friends in middle school and you're like, ha ha, like I just
Right,
cursed in front of my friends, and then you go home or like your mom's in the room and you're like, I'm not gonna say that.
right.
You know what I mean? It
Uh-huh.
kind of feels like that still.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably something like you said earlier, got to get your feet wet with somewhere down the road.
I
You
could see myself doing covers. I could see myself singing covers like at shows and stuff to get more comfortable. That's definitely something I've thought about.
Mhm. So with the traveling back and forth, from the States to Colombia, do you ever feel like as your career advances, could that lead to like a good pathway to be an international superstar? Like first, have you ever envisioned yourself as an international superstar?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I wouldn't say superstar. I feel like that's such a weird term. But
Also,
I definitely consider myself international for sure. I don't know, like it just like superstar screams Hannah Montana, Disney, like you know what I mean?
I
Like I don't
mean,
know, like
in
I
the
feel like
same.
I'm a real person, you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm like this like I'm not Leonardo DiCaprio in this bitch, but like you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like
you got the people that's classified as like international because you got the people who got those tracks like you got the Pit Bulls, you got the Daddy Yankees, like they got one song here that's probably ringing off with like a few songs here that's ringing off, but then in a whole nother country, it's ringing like what's the girl name that made Hips Don't Lie? Is it Shakira?
it is Shakira.
Like that song alone blew her into international superstardom. You know, like it's so many ways you can define it, but I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying
Yeah,
with that.
I do feel that. I have tested the waters before and like dropped an EP and deleted my music
Mhm.
because I just didn't. I was like, never mind. Like I don't know. I got this like sudden urge to just like not share, and I'm trying not to do that this time around.
Yeah, what
But
gives? No,
huh?
you can keep going. I ask after you're done.
Okay. Um, so I did do playlists in South America
Mhm.
and like Spotify playlists.
Yeah.
And my biggest hits were in like Uruguay, Peru, Chile, Venezuela, a few hits in Colombia, which I feel like was just like my family, like, what is she doing? You know what I mean? And then like a lot of stuff in the States, mostly by coastal, mostly like New York, LA, Miami, a little bit in Atlanta. I've kind of traveled a little bit. I've been to Chicago. I absolutely love Chicago in the summer. I've been there in the winter. And I absolutely love it as well, but it's just a little hard to walk around. I like to like walk around downtown, do some shopping, maybe
Mhm.
just like a music festival when I'm in Chicago. The food is great. Um,
Shout out to you.
but it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy because I did like two beats inspired by like reggaeton on my EP. And I did one of the beats out of the two that are remaining. Um that's kind of inspired by house. And then the third one is inspired by like trap music and like trap rap and like the type of music my friends make around me. So since I've posted it, it's only been like 24 hours, but my friends from that are Latino are like, oh, I love these two songs. And then my American friends are like, oh, I love these two songs. And they're like the complete opposite
Right.
of the spectrum. So it's really crazy how different people from different places are like, no, 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 this is the one. And they're all talking about the different, you know, like four different songs completely.
That's the range though, right there. That's the range speaking for it.
Yeah. What were you gonna ask me?
I was gonna ask, what gives you that urge to when you drop something or when you drop that time? What made you like pull it back, or why do you be so like hesitant to share your creativity?
Because I feel like I'm always growing. So as you grow, you look back at your work and you're like, oh, I'm very much like this isn't good enough. And I've learned to just kind of like let art be the moment that it was,
Hmm.
you know, and not try to judge it from like where I'm at now because it just like is what it is. Like I created it at that moment and like it was beautiful for that moment. So I just felt like I outgrew it and I was kind of like embarrassed. I was like, I don't want people listening to this. Like, this isn't even good. Like, I don't consider this good anymore. Like, people are listening to this. Oh my God, people are sharing it. I gotta just take it down because, like, please, like, stop, you know?
I feel that. But yeah, with the EP Reversa, how did you get into developing that?
Um, so I was just like going about my day. One of my friends hit me up about um doing something for a TV show and just like submitting music for a TV show because independent artists like they rather use independent artist music for like even if it's like 30 seconds of a TV show, this or that, instead of paying a label to use their music because they're gonna charge them more. So they were like, "Hey, my my homie kind of publicized it before we met and was like, hey, does anybody know a Spanish artist? Like, I don't know anybody, but like this network wants something and like I need to fulfill it."
Right.
And a few of my homies were like, "You don't know Riia?" And they all kind of called me and connected us, and we met up that day and made the last track on the EP. And he was like, and I was just kind of like directing the way he made the beat and stuff, and then I wrote it, and we laid it down, and we like finished it in like a day.
That one
And he
single,
was like,
are you talking about the beat that you finished in a day?
the whole song.
Oh,
We
okay,
like
gotcha.
tracked it, mixed it, did all of it. And he was like, "This is really cool." And I was like, "Yeah, we made a hit. Like that's what we came for, right?" And he was kind of like, "Damn, like let me know if you like want to work on some more stuff." And then I have this other homie that I was just like kind of like I meet up with artists all the time in LA, and we were at like a social gathering, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, "Man, where'd you get your sweater?" And they were like, "Man, my homie passed away and this is his sweater." And I was like, that was like one of my best friends. So we kind of had a moment, you know what I mean? We had like a serious moment at like a lit party, and um our friend that passed away had a Grammy, and he was on Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly.
Is it Ash Riser?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
I
how'd you
heard.
know that?
I heard him before. He was on what was Kendrick? What was Kendrick take? I want to say overly dedicated too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like someone that was really close to me at one point, and
Condolences.
Um, and
Condolences.
they were really close to, thank you. And they were really close to this person I had just met out of nowhere. So we were kind of mourning a little bit.
Hmm.
And when I knew Ash, I was too shy to make music. I was working on TV.
Right.
Um, so, you know, it's crazy. Like I watched him make so much music, and we were just talking about it. And he was like, "Oh my God, I have to show you some of the things we made. And you're making music now. Like we gotta make music. Like
Hmm.
we have to make music. Like we can't just like pretend like this is like something that you know is just like random. And so we made the other three tracks on the EP and put it out.
It sounds like
Mhm.
you guys crossed paths for a reason.
Yeah, it's
It's
kind of
like that.
crazy.
It's
Yeah, it's just the
alignment.
community, man.
Alignment too as well. So walk us through the EP. You got the first single, Tequila Con Fresca. Correct me if my
Yes,
pronunciation is wrong. And
it's okay. It's fresa. It's
Fresa.
fresa, but you said it
Fresa.
right.
What I say, Fresca?
Um,
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
yeah,
So
you're good.
Tequila Con Fresa.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
tequila with strawberries. I don't know. I just like to eat fruit, and I like I have a homegirl that just like always just gets tequila neat. She
That's what
gets
that
tequila
means?
no.
Tequila with strawberry?
Mm, yeah.
Okay.
So I have this
Okay,
one
cool.
homegirl, and she pulls up everywhere, and she's like tequila neat, like no ice, no mixer. Like she's Mexican too. She just be like, "Let me just get tequila neat." So I'm always eating fruit, and she's always forcing me to take shots. So I was just kind of like, I was just painting the picture. Like for me to really translate it for you, I was just like, damn, everybody be twerking nowadays. I was like, I'm dancing and I hit it in reverse, like I'm trying to dance on him in reverse, like kind of thing. And then I was like, I just want tequila and strawberries, like damn, like if you fuck with me, like pay my rent or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just talking like as if I'm talking to somebody and just like trying to have a good time. They're like, what do you want? Like I feel like that's what that song is really about. Like, what do you want out of life? And I'm just like really just having a conversation about something. I feel like my music is very much me having American influenced conversations in Spanish. And the way people conversate in Spanish and their morals and values are very different than the morals and values in the US. And I feel like in the US it's very materialized. And in Spanish countries it's still very romanced and about family and about like when people speak, especially like my aunts and stuff, they'll be like, like I want to do this, this, and this, like if God allows it. Like they very much always say like si Dios quiere is like what they say. And every time I'm like, auntie, like I want to do this, 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 and that, and they're like, si Dios quiere, right? They're like, if God allows it. So I feel like it's me talking smack from my American brain in Spanish.
So let me ask you. So you actually mix tequila and strawberry before? Like literally, like put
No,
it in
I
your drink?
haven't.
Yeah, I'm thinking because
Nah.
when you were telling me the backstory, I'm like, next time I go to the a bar, I'm gonna try that. So I
I
was
feel
thinking
like it's
that.
just because I feel like it's because strawberries are my favorite fruit.
Absolutely.
And tequila just happens to be my favorite drink.
What
So I
kind
was
of
like,
what
huh?
kind of tequila do you prefer?
The expensive kind.
What
Like the like you know that bottle that looks like a vase that has that bell on top? I don't know what it's called.
damn, I know what you're talking about.
Casa
I forgot the
Azul.
name of
It's
it.
Casa Azul,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, or they have like that really fancy Patron that they just put out. I
The
don't know what it is.
extra is it extra añejo?
Yeah, it's in that Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice video. It's like sponsored in that video. Or like, you know, Casamigos, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, just like expensive tequila and like fruit. Maybe not together. Maybe it's like when you're ordering room service and you're like, okay, I need strawberries, I need tequila, I need weed, I need, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm gonna like put this in my mouth all together and just like no, but it was like very much like these are the things I need.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got you. So for those who will be tuning in to the EP, what's something that you would want them to take away from you as an artist? Like if I was listening to it front to back, this is my first time listening. What's something that you would want me to take away by the time the last track ends?
just just freedom. Just freedom. Like I find my own freedom and I find my own self-expression. Like, man, go out there and express yourself. Go
Hmm.
out there and have fun. Like I hope it makes you want to dance. I hope it makes you want to like, you know what I mean? Or at least like if you're out somewhere and you're with like a bunch of girls, like I hope it makes them want to dance. Like I
Hmm.
just want it to exude a level of like, man, right here, right now in the present, like things are okay. Things are okay. I'm gonna go, you know, drink some tequila. I'm gonna eat some fruit, and I'm gonna have a really good day or a really good night, and like you know, just a sense of calm and happiness.
For real, and to me, that's really kind of what it's all about. I would say life in a nutshell, simplify it the best way you can and just have some fun, and for you as the artist, you expressing that, that's kind of the takeaway I took from it, not to brag, but I kind of got an early listen, so that's what I kind of took away from it. And it actually sounds like what you were aiming for, and it sounds like a debut, And I don't know. I mean, I might actually ask that. How do you think you know what I'm saying? How do you think you performed on it? Because what you said is actually what I took away from it. So how do you think you perform as far as like, you say you kind of get your feet wet first before you go full in. So how do you think you did for your first EP, official
I
EP?
think I think it's a very spicy, free representation of me. And I feel like I could pull up with it anywhere and be like, yeah, and I can stand on it. Like I
You
feel
can back
like
it up.
I could take those tracks and stand on it, 10 toes down, like, yeah, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, that's good. You gotta have that belief, and you gotta back what you create up, especially if it means something near and dear to you. If you create it, you gotta back it up, That's at this point, that's it. That's your baby.
Yeah, it is.
Have you performed any songs from the EP live yet?
Um, I have. I soft dropped a few songs, mostly just like at bonfire parties or like yacht parties or just like sets my friends DJ around the city. And they're like, girl, do that song, do that one song, you know? I feel like a lot of my friends do like art shows or they'll just pull up. A lot of my friends DJ and they're like, man, can you just send us that track real quick and like just perform it real quick?
Mhm.
And so yeah, a few people have heard it. All of them very close to me. We do have some shows coming up. We do have like a bigger show in LA that I'm planning for with us in the summer with this other band. Their name is Sunrose. They just dropped an EP as well. And they did like sold out shows in like San Francisco, Los Angeles. They just had one in El Paso last night. Um, they did one in Hollywood at the Viper Room, and they're like going crazy. So we've been friends since like before any of us really dropped music, you know. So we're all kind of just moving together. They're gonna include me in one of their shows. And it's gonna be pretty big. It's gonna be in LA. We don't have a date yet. Other than that, we don't have anything planned yet. But we're gonna keep it very small and intimate still until we
Yeah,
grow a little bit more.
it's well on the way. And I just want to say, you kind of spoke on your friends and they did high like kind of like high favor for you, you know. So first I want to say shout out to your friends, you know, for the encouragement, for
Hell
telling you like,
yeah.
hey, send me this track, and for most importantly helping you break through that shell, you know, because without all that, you know, how would this be, you know?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, well, it's your songs and it's your vocals," but I'm like, you know, my friend that did the last song mixed and mastered the whole thing. My both of my homeboys, Sean and Dom, spent hours on this with me. You know, a lot of my friends spent hours with me, just like, girl, like, please, like, just do this, like, just drop it, like, just like, you know, like, you got it. So I wouldn't be like where I'm at with all the support.
Real people do real things. So shout out to them, you know. And what's planned for you for the rest of the year as far as rolling out TP go?
Um, so I'm currently doing a tech boot camp.
Okay, okay,
That's taking up a lot of my time. I'm just trying to finish school, um, as of right now, and just like become like a web developer.
okay.
Um, Whether, you know, whatever I end up doing, I'll end up doing, but I'm very much focused on that. And I have like a bunch of collaborations of clothing that I've been doing, a lot of commissions. But that's very much like if you know, you know, you know. Um, yeah, other than that, just doing more music. I have definitely a bunch of singles coming out with a bunch of my friends. We have a lot of collaborations coming out with like some Colombian artists, Venezuelan artists, you know, a lot of Latinos that are just like in LA right now for sure. We have some collaborations coming out. Yeah, and just more work. Just like as it is being created, we'll put it out and just keep
Oh, yeah,
growing.
absolutely. You know, the only way, like you say, you in workaholic mode, so I know you're gonna pass it off with flying colors.
Yeah.
No problem. One more time before time run low. Plug the EP one time. Let listeners and those who are tuning in soon once this interview goes live, let them know where they can find the EP, how they can connect with you, get into tune with you, and stay in tune with
Sure. So one more time, everybody. My name is Ria. It's Riia with a
you. Remember the
period on the
name.
end. If you want to look me up, it's on all platforms. It's called Reversa, which is reverse in Spanish. It's a 4-track EP. Go listen to it. Go tell me what you think. Even if you hate it, be like, man, I didn't like it. You know, just hit me up. Let me know what you thought. And we'll have some videos coming in May as well. So
Yes, absolutely. You know, and like I said,
tune in.
remember the name because I think you well on your way. You know, you got the right attitude for what you're doing. You know, and the best thing about it, you started, you did it, and you having fun with it. You know,
Hell yeah.
that's that's the best thing. So it's gonna that type of energy gonna push you forward. You know, just stay surrounded with good people, people who want to pour into you, people who want to see those results about you. You know, because sometimes you can weave through the game, weave through life, however you want to look at it, and you run into people that really just don't want that for you. You know, so just keep those type of
Hell
people,
yeah.
keep the love circulating, keep the energy circulating, and just bring out the best of you. You know.
Hell yeah. I've always been told like focus on the love, not the hate.
Absolutely.
And shout out Chicago. Shout out you for doing this interview because, you know, we're gonna look back on this and be like, that's so crazy, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
If you're doing a show in Chicago and you need coverage, you know who to hit up.
Hell yeah, let's plan it. We could definitely plan something and do it big. You know, the summer in Chicago is beautiful. I love to be there in the
Oh
summer.
yeah,
So
absolutely. There's so many music festivals and great times and great food in the summer, like you even just explained earlier. So definitely, Chicago will embrace it with open arms. We have so much cultural everything here, so absolutely.
hell yeah.
So we will stay connected. It was great hearing about your journey. Tuning in to the EP, getting an early listen, and I'm looking forward to everything that's coming along with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We
No
will keep
problem.
in touch.
Absolutely.
And yeah, enjoy the weather because I know it's getting a little warmer there now.
Oh yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but today was about like 66. Last week it was about like 80, but after that 80-degree day, it went down to like 40 with slight snow. So
Ooh,
it's kind of crazy, but we gonna get that stuff.
hell yeah.
Absolutely. So it was good talking to you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. And it's
Of
like
course.
5 out there right now, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
So it's even. It's like 7 out here. So yeah.
Oh,
So,
wow. Well, thank you for taking the time. We'll talk very soon. And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody that's going to watch this.
yes, thank you
And
as
I
well.
hope you like it and replay it. You know what I mean? Play it a couple times.
Absolutely.
Give
It's
it a
right
few
on time.
spins.
Right on time for the season too. Summertime. Go have y'all some fun and get into it with the EP from Riia.
Hell yeah.
Right on. So it was good speaking with you, and I'm gonna talk to you soon. All right.
Talk to you later.
All right. Have a good one.